Welcome back to our channel. 1 cent can change everything. Don't underestimate the power of pennies. The 1976 US 1 cent penny is a remarkable coin in the history of American currency. It stands as a symbol of a very unique moment in American history, the country's bicentennial celebration. It is a coin that was part of a monumental year, marking the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and the birth of the United States. This penny, with its design and the specific time period in which it was produced, holds a special place not just in the hearts of collectors, but in the broader narrative of America's legacy. When we think of the 1976 penny, we're not just thinking of a coin. We're thinking of a year that shaped the nation's identity. The 1976 penny is a token of an era, one of patriotism, of celebration, and of historical reflection. But to understand its significance, we need to dive into its history, design, minting process, and what makes this penny so extraordinary to numismatists and collectors alike. Let's begin with a little bit of historical context. The 1976 penny was minted in a year that marked the bicentennial of the United States, the 200th anniversary of its founding. This was not just another year, it was a year of grand celebrations across the country, with festivals, parades, fireworks, and special events. In a time when America was looking back at its past and reflecting on its future, the 1976 penny became an important piece of this commemorative period. The U.S. Mint, eager to celebrate this special occasion, released a series of coins to honor the nation's 200th birthday. These coins were part of a larger bicentennial program that also included special quarter and half-dollar designs. But the 1976 penny, unlike its larger counterparts, was not altered for the bicentennial in terms of its design. Instead, it remained the traditional design that had been in use since 1909, featuring the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. The design of the 1976 penny, like many other pennies before it, prominently featured Lincoln's image. This iconic design was created by Victor David Brenner and has been used on the penny for over a century. President Lincoln, who is widely regarded as one of the greatest leaders in U.S. history, is depicted in profile, facing left. The words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," are inscribed around his image, along with the date of minting, which in this case is 1976. Although there was no change in the design for the bicentennial, this penny was still connected to that historic moment in American history, as it was part of the larger theme of celebrating America's past. The reverse side of the 1976 penny also remained unchanged. It still featured the familiar Lincoln Memorial, which had been the design since 1959. This design was the work of engraver Frank Gasparo, who captured the grandeur of the memorial with its many columns and sweeping lines. Inscribed around the reverse are the words, "United States of America, e pluribus unum," and 1 cent. The memorial, with its dignified presence, further solidified the connection to the theme of American strength and unity, which was central to the bicentennial celebrations. While the design of the 1976 penny remained consistent, it's important to note the changes in coin composition that had occurred in the years leading up to 1976. The penny had undergone a significant transformation in 1962, when its composition was changed from 95% copper to 95% copper with a mix of 5% zinc. Then, in 1982, the composition changed once again, with the penny becoming primarily zinc and only a thin copper plating on the outside. But for the 1976 penny, it retained its pre-1982 composition, which was 95% copper and 5% zinc. The 1976 penny was minted at all three U.S. mint facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. In total, over 4 billion pennies were produced in 1976, making it one of the most heavily minted years for the 1 cent coin. The sheer number of coins produced makes it a relatively common coin to find in circulation, but that doesn't mean there aren't valuable versions of the 1976 penny waiting to be discovered. So, what makes the 1976 penny stand out among the millions produced? For one, it's not just the bicentennial connection. While the penny wasn't altered for the bicentennial, the year 1976 saw a shift in how coins were produced. There were innovations in the U.S. Mint's production processes that would affect the quality and appearance of the coins. During the 1970s, the Mint had been adopting new technologies to strike coins with greater precision, ensuring that the quality of each coin was higher than ever before. But beyond the innovations in minting, it was the errors that occurred in some 1976 pennies that would capture the attention of collectors and numismatists. As with any year, some 1976 pennies were struck with imperfections. These errors, although rare, can make certain coins far more valuable than their face value. One of the most significant errors found in 1976 pennies is the double die variety. This occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once, causing some parts of the design to appear doubled. In the case of the 1976 penny, this could be seen on the word Liberty or In God We Trust. Such coins, with their double strikes, are highly sought after by collectors because they represent a mistake in the minting process, which makes them unique and valuable. Another valuable error found in some 1976 pennies is the off-center strike. This happens when a coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be shifted off-center. Depending on the severity of the off-center strike, these pennies can be very rare and quite valuable. Some off-center 1976 pennies are worth thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and the degree to which the design is misaligned, but it's not just the errors that make the 1976 penny valuable. Over time, the penny from 1976 has become a symbol of American history. The connection to the bicentennial celebration makes it a significant coin for collectors who are interested in coins that commemorate important milestones in U.S. history. The idea of holding a coin that was minted during the 200th anniversary of the nation's independence adds to the allure of the 1976 penny, making it a highly sought-after piece in many collections. While most 1976 pennies are still in circulation today and worth only 1 cent, the rare examples with minting errors or those in exceptional condition can fetch incredible prices at auction. Some of these rare pennies have sold for thousands, and in extreme cases, some have sold for as much as $148,000. That's right, $148,000 for a coin that was originally worth just 1 cent. This incredible value is a result of a combination of factors: the rarity of certain errors, the coin's historical significance, and the growing demand from collectors for unique pieces of American history. The 1976 penny, while common in appearance, can be worth an unbelievable amount of money if it happens to be one of the rare error coins or if it's in pristine condition. The 1976 penny is a great example of how a small coin, produced in large quantities, can still become a valuable and coveted piece in the world of numismatics. While it's easy to overlook the pennies that fill our pockets and change jars, coins like the 1976 penny show us just how valuable these seemingly insignificant pieces of currency can become over time. So, the next time you come across a 1976 penny, take a closer look. You might just have a rare error coin or an exceptionally well-preserved example in your hands. With a current value of up to $148,000, that simple 1-cent coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Keep an eye out for those little details, the subtle imperfections, and the uniqueness of the coin, because in the world of coin collecting, those small details can turn an ordinary penny into an extraordinary treasure. In the end, the story of the 1976 penny reminds us that sometimes, the most valuable things in life are the ones we least expect. A coin that was minted in celebration of America's past has now become a symbol of the potential hidden in plain sight. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone with a curiosity about coins, always remember to look closely at the pennies in your pocket. You never know when you might stumble upon something worth more than you could have ever imagined. The 1985 U.S. 1-cent penny, though often overlooked in everyday transactions, holds a remarkable place in the history of American coinage. It's a seemingly ordinary coin, but for those with an eye for numismatics, the 1985 penny has come to symbolize the fascinating world of coin collecting, error varieties, and the evolution of American currency. Despite being produced in mass quantities, the 1985 penny is anything but typical. With its unique historical context, subtle design intricacies, and the potential for valuable error varieties, this coin is an intriguing subject for anyone interested in the world of coin collecting. Before we delve into the details of the 1985 penny itself, let's take a step back and look at the broader historical context that shaped this coin. The year 1985 was a pivotal moment in American history, one that coincided with both a turning point in the nation's economy and the cultural landscape. By this time, the United States had already seen decades of changes in the design and production of its currency, but the penny had remained a constant fixture, despite the debate surrounding its continued relevance. The penny, which had been in circulation since the late 18th century, was still seen by many as a necessary but mundane part of daily life. But to collectors and those who appreciate the finer details of numismatics, every coin tells a story, and the 1985 penny is no exception. In terms of design, the 1985 penny didn't make any radical departures from the tradition set by the Lincoln Memorial reverse, which had been in place since 1959. The obverse, or front of the coin, still featured the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design, which has been in use since 1909, has become synonymous with the penny itself, symbolizing Lincoln's legacy as the 16th President of the United States. The portrait of Lincoln, gazing thoughtfully to the left, is surrounded by the inscription, "In God We Trust," above, and "Liberty," along the right side of the coin. The date of minting, in this case, 1985, is also displayed, along with the mint mark indicating where the coin was struck, whether it be Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. While the obverse of the 1985 penny remained unchanged, the reverse side of the coin continued to feature the Lincoln Memorial. This design, created by Frank Gasparo, was initially introduced in 1959 to replace the wheat ears reverse, and it served as a tribute to Lincoln's lasting impact on the United States. The Lincoln Memorial, with its grand columns and the sense of majesty it conveys, became a fitting symbol for the penny, representing the strength and unity of the nation. This reverse design remained constant on the penny throughout the 1980s, and it still evokes a sense of pride and patriotism for many collectors today. However, the 1985 penny wasn't just notable for its familiar design. By the mid-1980s, the United States Mint had already been dealing with rising costs related to the production of its coinage. One of the most significant challenges faced by the mint was the rising price of copper, the primary metal used in the production of the penny. The 1985 penny, like its predecessors, was composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This was a continuation of the composition that had been used since the 19th century, but the price of copper had begun to climb, making the cost of producing each penny more expensive. In fact, this issue of rising costs would eventually lead to the introduction of a new composition for the penny in 1982. However, the 1985 penny still adhered to the traditional copper-based composition, making it a unique piece in the history of U.S. coinage. While the penny remained small and affordable, it also served as a reminder of the economic realities facing the mint as it sought to balance the cost of production with the need for currency. Beyond the composition and design of the 1985 penny, what really sets this coin apart from other pennies is the potential for rare and valuable era varieties. Throughout its production, the U.S. Mint has occasionally produced coins with minting flaws, and the 1985 penny is no exception. Some of the most valuable examples of the 1985 penny are those that were struck with errors during the minting process, creating coins that stand out due to their unique characteristics. These errors can range from minor flaws to more dramatic defects, but all of them add an element of rarity and intrigue to the coin. One of the most notable error varieties of the 1985 penny is the double die variety. A double die occurs when the coin's design is struck multiple times, leading to a slight shift in the appearance of certain elements. This can create a doubling effect, particularly on words like liberty or in God we trust. In the case of the 1985 penny, the double die error is particularly prized because it's a relatively subtle flaw that can be difficult to spot unless you know what you're looking for. Collectors who are able to identify a 1985 double die penny are often willing to pay a premium for the rarity and uniqueness of the piece. Another error that can make the 1985 penny more valuable is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck off-center. Depending on how misaligned the strike is, off-center pennies can be highly collectible. In some cases, a severe off-center strike can make the coin appear almost unrecognizable, but these extreme examples are often the most valuable. While these errors are rare, they can command significant prices at auction, depending on their severity and condition. Beyond the errors, the overall condition of the 1985 penny also plays a major role in its value. Like all coins, the state of preservation can dramatically affect how much a coin is worth to collectors. Pennies that have been well preserved over the years, without significant wear and tear, are considered more desirable. Coins that are in mint state condition, meaning they show no signs of circulation or damage, are particularly valuable. If a 1985 penny is found in pristine condition, especially one with an error variety, its value can be significantly higher than its face value. As time passes and fewer of these coins remain in circulation, their value increases. The demand for coins with rare characteristics, such as minting errors, continues to grow, and the 1985 penny has become one of the more coveted pennies in the world of numismatics. What was once an everyday coin used for purchasing a pack of gum or a candy bar is now considered a treasure in the hands of a collector. With the right conditions, a 1985 penny can be worth far more than a cent. The current value of the 1985 penny, particularly one with rare minting errors or in exceptional condition, has reached staggering amounts. Some of these rare pennies have been known to fetch prices as high as $136,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $136,000 for a penny that was originally worth just 1 cent. This incredible value is a testament to the power of rarity, demand, and the fascination that collectors have with these tiny pieces of history. So, the next time you come across a 1985 penny, take a moment to examine it carefully. You might just be holding a coin that is far more valuable than you could ever have imagined. Whether it's a rare double die, an off-center strike, or a mint condition piece, the 1985 penny is a perfect example of how even the most common of coins can turn into a remarkable collectible. For those lucky enough to find one, the 1985 penny is a reminder that the world of numismatics is full of hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. In the end, the story of the 1985 penny is a perfect example of how a simple, everyday coin can rise in value over time. Through the lens of coin collecting, even the most ordinary items can carry extraordinary value. The 1985 penny, with its connection to American history and its potential for rare errors, has become a symbol of the timeless appeal of numismatics. For those who are fortunate enough to find a rare example, the value of that penny can soar to unimaginable heights, leaving collectors and investors alike amazed by the incredible journey of a coin worth just 1 cent. The 1995 US 1 cent penny, like many of its counterparts in the world of coinage, may seem like a small and unassuming piece of currency at first glance. Yet, this humble penny holds more than meets the eye, especially for those who understand the rich history and subtle nuances that make it a prized piece for collectors. While millions of these coins were minted in 1995 and circulated across the United States, few would have guessed that this simple penny could hold such value today. What makes the 1995 penny stand out among the sea of everyday coins? Well, it all starts with understanding the historical context, the design, the production process, and, of course, the rare and valuable error varieties that have captured the attention of numismatists worldwide. Let's first look at the historical context in which the 1995 penny was minted. The year 1995 was a time of economic growth and technological advancement in the United States. It was the midpoint of the 1990s, a decade defined by rapid progress in the digital age, particularly with the rise of the internet and personal computers. On a broader scale, the American economy was experiencing a period of relative stability, following the recessions of the early 1990s. The dollar was strong, inflation was low, and the economy was flourishing. But while the world around it was changing rapidly, the 1 cent penny remained a constant, representing the small but essential role that currency plays in daily life. Yet, in this context of economic growth, the penny itself had become the subject of much debate. There were ongoing discussions about whether or not to abolish the penny, as it was costing more to produce than it was worth. In 1995, the cost of copper, the primary metal used in penny production, was on the rise. At the time, it still took more than 1 cent to make a penny, and some were questioning the coin's continued relevance in a world increasingly moving toward digital transactions and electronic payment methods. However, despite these concerns, the penny was far from obsolete, and it continued to be minted in vast quantities, with over 8 billion pennies produced in 1995 alone. When it comes to the design of the 1995 penny, there was little change from the previous decades. The obverse of the coin, or the front, still featured the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, has graced the penny since 1909, making him one of the most enduring figures in American coinage. His portrait, facing left, is surrounded by the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," with the date of minting, 1995, imprinted below. On the reverse side, the design remained just as familiar. The Lincoln Memorial, designed by engraver Frank Gasparo, continued to be the defining feature of the reverse. Introduced in 1959, the memorial honors Lincoln's legacy and symbolizes the strength and unity of the nation. The reverse is inscribed with the words, United States of America, e pluribus unum, and 1 cent. The Lincoln Memorial's grand columns and sweeping lines are a powerful reminder of the history and ideals that the penny represents. But while the design itself remained unchanged, the 1995 penny still holds the potential to surprise and captivate those with an eye for detail, thanks to the rare and valuable error varieties that emerged during its minting. For most of us, the 1995 penny is just another small piece of currency in our pockets or jars. But for coin collectors, the 1995 penny can be something much more. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for rare, unique, or even misprinted coins that can add value to their collections. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1995 penny is the existence of several notable error varieties that make certain coins much more valuable than their face value. These error coins, while not as common as standard pennies, can fetch significant sums at auction. One of the most famous and valuable varieties of the 1995 penny is the double die variety. Double die errors occur when the coin is struck multiple times during the minting process, resulting in a slight shift or doubling of the design elements. On a 1995 penny, this might manifest in doubled letters or numbers, particularly in the inscriptions, Liberty or In God We Trust. These doubling effects are subtle but noticeable to the trained eye, and they can significantly increase the value of the coin. Collectors eagerly search for these rare coins, and when one is found in good condition, it can command a premium price. Another notable error variety of the 1995 penny is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck off-center. The result is a coin with a distorted or incomplete image, which makes it a valuable and highly sought-after item for collectors. Off-center strikes are rare, and the more severe the misalignment, the more valuable the coin can be. Depending on the degree of the off-center error, a 1995 penny with this type of flaw can fetch a significant sum at auction, sometimes reaching thousands of dollars. Beyond the obvious error varieties, the condition of the 1995 penny also plays a crucial role in determining its value. As with all coins, pennies that are well preserved and free from scratches, wear, or corrosion are far more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. Coins in mint state condition, meaning they have never been in circulation and show no signs of handling, are particularly desirable to collectors. The 1995 penny, when found in mint condition, can easily surpass its 1 cent face value. And if it happens to have a rare minting error or other unique feature, its value skyrockets. So, what does all this mean for the current market value of the 1995 penny? Well, thanks to its unique error varieties, historical context, and the ever-growing demand for rare coins, the 1995 penny can be worth far more than you might think. While a standard 1995 penny in average condition is worth only 1 cent, certain error coins, especially those with the double die or off-center strikes, can sell for significant amounts. Some of these rare pennies have fetched prices as high as $130,000 at auction, making the 1995 penny one of the more valuable modern coins in the world of numismatics. The value of the 1995 penny, especially those with minting errors, continues to rise as more collectors discover the charm and historical significance of this small coin. With its strong connection to American history, its classic design, and its potential for rare and valuable varieties, the 1995 penny has become a highly sought-after piece for both experienced collectors and newcomers to the hobby. And as time goes on, the rarity of well-preserved, error-free or error-rich 1995 pennies will only increase, making them even more desirable and valuable. In conclusion, the 1995 US 1 cent penny is a fascinating piece of American coinage. Though it may seem like just another penny at first glance, it carries with it a wealth of historical significance, design elements, and the potential for rare and valuable errors. For collectors, the 1995 penny represents the perfect combination of tradition, rarity, and the thrill of the hunt. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or just someone with an interest in coins, it's always worth taking a closer look at the pennies in your collection. You never know when you might find one of these hidden treasures, worth far more than a single cent. And remember, the 1995 penny, with the right features, could very well be worth up to $130,000. That's right, a single penny that was once worth just 1 cent could now fetch an unbelievable price at auction. So, the next time you find yourself with a 1995 penny in your pocket, take a moment to inspect it. You may just have an extremely valuable coin on your hands, waiting to be discovered. The 2015 US 1-cent penny might seem like just another coin in circulation, easily passed from hand to hand without much thought. But take a closer look, and you'll see that this small piece of copper-plated zinc holds a lot more than meets the eye, especially when it comes to its place in numismatic history. It's easy to overlook the penny, given how common it is in everyday transactions, but for those who appreciate the art of coin collecting and the stories behind each piece, the 2015 penny tells a fascinating tale. First, let's rewind and look at the historical context surrounding the 2015 penny. The United States was in the midst of a rapidly changing economic landscape. The country was recovering from the 2008 financial crisis, and by 2015, the economy had begun to stabilize. Unemployment was on the decline, and growth was beginning to take hold in sectors like technology and finance. In the world of coinage, however, the penny was facing its own set of challenges. While the U.S. Mint continued to produce billions of pennies every year, there was an ongoing debate over whether the penny should remain in circulation at all. With the rising cost of copper and zinc, it was becoming increasingly expensive to produce a coin worth only 1 cent. Yet, despite the push to eliminate the penny from everyday use, it was still very much a fixture in the economy, and the 2015 penny would continue the legacy of one of the most iconic and divisive coins in U.S. history. When it comes to the design of the 2015 penny, much of what makes this coin special lies in its continuity with past years. The obverse, or front, of the coin features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, a design that has remained unchanged since 1909. The portrait of Lincoln, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, has become one of the most recognizable features of American coinage. The words, "In God We Trust," appear above the portrait, while "Liberty" is inscribed to the right, with the year of minting, 2015, below. Lincoln's portrait is framed with the inscriptions "United States of America" along the top and "E Pluribus Unum" across the bottom, completing the obverse design. On the reverse of the coin, the familiar Lincoln Memorial is still in place, a design introduced in 1959. Created by engraver Frank Gasparo, the Lincoln Memorial serves as a tribute to Lincoln's lasting influence on the nation. The grandeur of the memorial, with its majestic columns and iconic steps, represents the strength of American ideals. The inscription, "United States of America," runs along the top, while "E Pluribus Unum" and "1 cent" are etched into the lower portion. This design had become synonymous with the penny, and it remained unchanged for decades, symbolizing not just Lincoln's legacy, but also the nation's enduring values. But while the 2015 penny adhered to the same design that had been in circulation for decades, the coin did represent an important step in the continued evolution of U.S. currency. One of the most significant changes for the penny in recent years was the continued use of a reduced metal content in its production. Since 1982, the composition of the penny had shifted from 95% copper to a primarily zinc-based coin, with just a thin layer of copper plating. By 2015, the penny was composed of 97.5% zinc, with only 2.5% copper. This shift was primarily due to the rising cost of copper, which had made it increasingly expensive to produce coins with a higher copper content. This change was part of a broader trend in U.S. coinage, as the cost of producing each coin often exceeded its face value. Still, the penny remained in production, as it continued to play a crucial role in daily transactions. With the 2015 penny, collectors and numismatists were focused on both its historical significance and the potential for rare varieties. Although the coin's design remained consistent, the sheer number of pennies minted each year meant that there were opportunities for rare and unique coins to be found, especially when it came to rarer varieties. As with any coin, a small mistake during the minting process can result in a rare and valuable piece, one that could attract the attention of collectors who are eager to add something special to their collections. One of the most sought-after rarer varieties of the 2015 penny is the double die variety. A double die error occurs when the design of the coin is struck multiple times, causing a slight misalignment that creates a doubling effect on the text and imagery. This can result in a doubled appearance of the letters or numbers on the coin, most notably the inscriptions, "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." These doubled elements are subtle but noticeable when closely examined, and they can significantly increase the value of the coin. While a standard 2015 penny is worth just 1 cent, a 2015 double-die penny can sell for much more, often fetching hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Another valuable error variety of the 2015 penny is the off-center strike. This occurs when the penny is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck off-center. The result is a coin with a distorted image, where parts of the design are missing or appear shifted. Off-center pennies are highly sought after by collectors, as they are unique and often have a quirky, one-of-a-kind appearance. Depending on the degree of misalignment, an off-center 2015 penny can command a higher value, with some rare examples fetching tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Beyond these error varieties, the condition of the penny also plays a significant role in its value. As with any collectible coin, the better the condition, the more valuable the piece. A 2015 penny in pristine condition, with no signs of wear, corrosion, or scratches, is much more valuable than a coin that has been heavily circulated. Coins that are graded as mint state or uncirculated are particularly desirable to collectors. If a 2015 penny happens to be in perfect condition and features a rare error, its value can skyrocket, making it a highly coveted piece. The 2015 penny, especially when found in perfect condition or with one of the rare error varieties, holds a surprising value. While most 2015 pennies are worth only their face value of 1 cent, collectors who seek out those with minting errors or impeccable condition are willing to pay a premium. Some of these rare coins have been known to fetch prices as high as $105,000 at auction. That's right, 1 penny, originally worth just 1 cent, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars to the right collector. This immense value for a coin that is so often overlooked in everyday transactions is a testament to the world of coin collecting and the factors that drive demand in the numismatic market. Rarity, condition, and historical significance all play a part in determining the worth of a coin. The 2015 penny, while part of a long-standing tradition of U.S. currency, has its own special place in the world of coin collecting. Its continued popularity, combined with the potential for rare minting errors, ensures that it will be a sought-after piece for years to come. So, the next time you find yourself with a 2015 penny in your pocket or change jar, take a moment to look at it more closely. You may have a hidden treasure on your hands. While most of these coins are worth just 1 cent, the rarer varieties, especially those with double die errors, off-center strikes, or pristine conditions, can be worth far more than anyone could have expected. And if you happen to own one of these exceptional coins, it could potentially fetch as much as $105,000 at auction. In the world of numismatics, the value of a coin is often more than just its face value. It's about history, rarity, and the stories behind the coin. The 2015 penny, though small and seemingly ordinary, has proven that even the most common coins can rise to extraordinary value in the hands of collectors. So, who knows? That simple penny you just found might just be a rare gem in disguise, ready to take its place among the most coveted coins in the world.